Kristen. I'm Kara. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Tell me a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, I'm in the middle of summer semester for grad school, and I just found out that my parents are actually getting a divorce after being together for almost 30 years. And it's really hit me and my siblings really hard. It felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. And the reason behind the divorce was that my dad had an affair. And my mom pretty much kicked him out when she found out. So it's been really tough trying to be in school, and I'm the oldest, and my siblings are having a really hard time. My mom's obviously having a hard time, and I don't really care what my dad thinks because it's his fault. So.
Okay. Wow. So that's a lot to deal with. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have feelings about it yourself. You're also worried about your siblings and your mom.
Yeah.
Maybe not so worried about dad at the moment,
No,
but I'm
no.
sure that that's another relationship that is changing and that you'll
Yeah.
have to deal with. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you have a grad school workload as well. So are you living close to your family now while you're in school?
Yeah, they're in the same area. I don't live with them, but they're only about 30 minutes away.
Okay,
So I
so
see
you-
them
See
regularly.
them regularly. And what about your siblings? Where are they?
My brother's in high school here, so he's around, but my sister's away at college, so she's a couple hours away.
Okay. And so have you talked to your mom about how she's doing, how she's feeling?
I've been kind of staying over at their house a couple nights this week, just to kind of talk to her and be there for her. She's kind of in that really angry stage right now, though, so it's not really productive talking to her about it, but she's just trying to get through it, and I think my dad's keep reaching out to her, but she doesn't want to talk to him, so she's kind of leaning on me, just talking to me.
Okay. So your dad is trying to have contact and she's not so receptive right now. And has your dad tried to talk to you as well?
Yeah, I think he's tried to reach out to my sister and brother as well, and to me, but I don't really know what to say to him right now. It's kind of hard because I don't understand why he did that and how they could do this after being married for so long. I just don't understand. So I don't really know quite what to say to him yet.
Okay. So has he had the opportunity to talk to you, or you're just not really ready to
No,
hear it yet?
he's called a couple times. I think he stopped by my apartment because when he called, he said he was outside, but I ignored his call.
So you really haven't had a chance to talk yet? You're just
not since
here
my
ready
mom
to
told me everything. No.
So your mom was the one who explained the situation. Okay. And have you had a chance to speak to your siblings?
Yeah, my sister is gonna be coming home. She's has a job where she's at college, and she's gonna come home this week. So her and my brother and sister can kind of talk, and I think they're really having a hard time with it. And my brother, he's a senior in high school, and as soon as he found out, he went out that night and he got drunk, and then he got arrested and got DUI, and he's not handling really well either.
Okay. And sounds like a pretty close relationship.
Yeah, we've got a good relationship between the three of us. Yeah.
Okay. And does your mom have friends, a support system around?
Yeah, her parents are pretty far away, and I don't even know if she's really told them yet. I think she's kind of embarrassed, probably, is part of it, but she's got a couple of good close work girlfriends and girls that she's known from college and stuff that I think she's talked to, but just kind of her close-knit group of friends know right now.
Okay. And where is your dad now?
I think he's staying at a hotel in the area, but she won't let him back home.
Okay. And how's your mom handling your brother's behavior?
I think she's just really overwhelmed, and kind of part of her anger towards my dad, she's taking out on him too now, because she's mad at him for doing that and being irresponsible. But I think he's 17, and just kind of shocked him, and I can understand why. Not that I'm excusing it, but.
And was your brother closer to all of you and your siblings? Are there relationships that were stronger or closer to one parent or the other?
I would say
is everyone kind of taking it the same way, or
my dad and brother are really close. They traveled a lot. My brother's big into sports, still is. So they traveled a lot. My dad would always go with them to tournaments out of state and around went to Europe and traveled a lot together. So they had a really, really close
Mhm.
relationship because my dad was such a huge supporter for him with sports. And my sister and I coached him as well. But I think that had that extra bond because
Sure.
they did so much together. Whereas my sister and I didn't do as much sports. So we weren't really, didn't have that kind of bond, that kind of father-son bond.
Mhm.
But, I think we're probably more closer to my mom in that sense. But
Okay.
still could have a good relationship with my dad before this.
So it sounds like you're definitely all dealing with the loss of sort of
Yeah.
the role model that your dad was, but maybe your brother to even maybe kind of a
Bigger
greater
extent.
degree.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, so what exactly are you sort of hoping, what place were you hoping to reach sort of at the end of all this when the smoke clears? How do you see your relationship with your family?
I think one way, I think it's going to make my siblings kind of grow closer together, having to deal with something like this. And it's going to be tough the next couple of months, but I'd like to be at a place where I can manage it all without kind of falling apart and be able to keep it together and be strong enough for my mom and my siblings, and eventually I guess being able to talk to my dad and kind of get his point of view, because I know I can't just cut him out of my life. But
So you would like to try to repair that relationship?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And you would like to be a support for your mom and your siblings.
Yeah.
Is that something that's also a little stressful? Do you feel pressure to be
Yeah,
that
I think
person?
so. I think because I'm the oldest, sometimes I feel like I have to be there, there for them. So I think that's definitely, that is definitely something that I think I worry about, is being that supporter for them. But then I think I don't listen to my own problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next question, which is who do you have around you besides your siblings and your mom, who are kind of going through this also and maybe can't offer you support? Who are your close friends or relationships?
I've got a couple roommates from grad school who are really close with me. We all take classes together and live together, so they're a pretty big support system. I've known them for 2 years now, and I've obviously confided in them, and they've been a big support for me. So they're the ones that I really reach out to the most.
Great.
And they know my family pretty well, since my family's close, so they've met everyone and they kind of know our history and stuff. So they're kind of who I lean on, but I also don't want to burden them because they're in school too. So I don't want to make my problems all of their problems, because they all have stuff going on too. So I don't want to.
And when it comes to your school workload, how are you finding? Is that just an added stressor at the moment? Is it something that can take your mind off what's going on at home? How is that?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit of a little both. Yeah, it is nice to go to classes and try and block everything out and just focus on my class. And I think it's harder to go home and then try to focus on doing my homework or papers and then not focus on what's going on at home. Especially because I've been staying up with my mom, and she's constantly needing that attention from me. So it's hard to balance both. It's a nice, I can get away and go to class, but then it's harder to get everything done, and then I worry about getting everything done, and so it's tough.
Okay, so it sounds like you're dealing with several different things. You're dealing with this just big change in your family. Obviously you're dealing with the loss of that role model that your dad was, and also are worried about how your mom's doing and how you can be a support to her, and then be a support to your siblings, and manage your school load.
Yep.
Does that kind of sum it up? Okay, so it sounds like in terms of what you're feeling right now, you have some stress just in handling everything, some sadness, and maybe some anger,
Definitely.
directed at your father. And maybe a little frustration with your mom, just in kind of putting some of her burden on you, and maybe some frustration with your brother for maybe acting out a little bit. And so that's a lot. That's a lot of emotions going on, and they're all kind of directed at different people. Is there anyone else important in your life that sort of is involved or not involved with it that you can talk to about it?
Yeah. I've been dating a guy for about a year now. So we're, not super serious. We've, been together for a little while. We've known each other for about a year and a half now. He's at the same school as me, not in the same program, but we're both kind of going through grad school together. So we're not, trying to get too serious right now because we're both focused on school.
Sure.
But he's definitely an important part of my life.
Have you talked to him about the situation?
Yeah. He was around when my mom first called me and told me he was there. So he was the first person that I told. And he's been really supportive. Just kind of listening, letting me vent, really. So he hasn't really said much. I think he's, kind of afraid probably to really have an opinion on it either way about anything going on because he's just trying to let me vent. It's probably tough for him to handle all this also. So.
Okay. So when, you mentioned your roommates first.
Yeah.
In thinking about a support system and your boyfriend is sort of coming up next. Do you feel more comfortable leaning on your friends as opposed to your boyfriend? Is that?
I think so. I don't know. I don't really want to rely on him completely.
Okay.
My girlfriends, I've known for a while. We've been through a lot together, and I know they're gonna be able to relate to me and be there for me in the situation. And I don't know. I don't know why I'm not really going to him as much as I am to my girlfriends.
Okay. So you sort of had that more confiding, supportive relationship with your friends beforehand.
Yeah.
And maybe haven't dealt with anything quite like this in your relationship.
Yeah, I don't think we really had to go through anything nearly this big.
Do you think there's any concern on your part? Your parents are going through difficulties in their romantic relationship. Do you think that that's having any impact on your romantic relationship?
It might be. It's definitely something I hadn't thought of. I think maybe just seeing that my mom going through all this after 30 years and, I've never really dated anyone that seriously in undergrad. So he's been my first relationship. And it's been great. We've had a great relationship. We're good for each other, I think, so far. But I think this is definitely kind of hit me and made me relook at a relationship and see if this really is, if he's trustworthy and if it's a good relationship to be in. And I don't want this situation to totally question my relationship, but I think maybe it is.
Okay. So it sounds like you're certainly not trying to project anything from your parents' relationships onto your own, but that maybe somewhere in the back of your mind is having a little bit of an impact.
Yeah.
And maybe part of the reason why you feel more comfortable confiding in your girlfriend as opposed to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
If that's at all, kind of in the back of your mind as a worry.
Yeah, I think that definitely could be part of the reason why I'm not really going to him as much.
Well, why don't we think about some things that we can sort of work on just so you feel like you're, sort of taking some steps,
Okay.
For the next time that we're able to talk. I think a good place to start maybe would be with your boyfriend. Maybe getting to a place or, discussing with him how much he's even comfortable hearing, because you might find out something you didn't expect.
Yeah.
He may appreciate that you're going to your roommates, or he might, feel like he's willing and able to take on a little more.
Yeah, that's true.
And then as you get more comfortable, even maybe delving into the trust issue a little bit would be good. So that's I think sort of one good immediate step. The other thing I think we could do or have you do is maybe have a conversation with your mom about who else she can find some support with.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Sitting down with her and maybe kind of strategizing a little bit of, who else she can talk to, what are some things she can do in her day to kind of release some of that anger, enjoy herself a little bit with friends or, her parents or whoever that might be.
Right.
So that it's not all falling on you.
Yeah.
And in terms of your dad, that's really up to you. Or do you think you're ready to take steps in terms of speaking with him, or is that something you'd rather wait?
I think I do need to. It's been about 2 weeks now. I haven't talked to him since then. I think I probably should try to reach out. I think it's being hard, and I know I'm angry at him still. I haven't gotten through that point yet. But I think I'd like to try sometime in the near future, I guess.
Well, my suggestions would be either just reaching out to tell him that you're kind of there,
Yeah.
that you're maybe not ready to talk about it, and that you're still really angry, and share that feeling with him,
Right.
but that you do want to have a relationship, you're just not ready yet. Or if you do feel ready, to at least hear what he has to say.
Okay.
Don't feel like you need to respond yet, or kiss and make up, but at least hear him out and hear his side of the story.
Yeah.
So those would be kind of my options as a very first step.
Yeah.
Do either of those sound like something?
Yeah, I think maybe trying the first step and just saying, like expressing how I feel towards him and about what he's done. That might help getting that off my chest towards him, because he's the person, I guess, that I'm mostly directing all this towards, because it's what he's done that's making me feel this way. I don't know if I'm quite ready to hear what he has to say back yet, because I'm afraid of how I'd react.
Sure.
But I think maybe letting him know how I'm feeling right now, and telling him that soon we can have a conversation, or I can listen to what he has to say, but not quite ready yet.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great first step. Just kind of at least reconnecting, you're not completely shutting him out anymore, and getting a chance to share your feelings with him.
Yeah.
Having a chat with your mom about what she can do for herself, and talking to your boyfriend.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks.